So, what were the three most significant developments of the election? My correspondent Izzy in Scotland will now tell you.
Well, Annie, I'm here in Scotland, and it's pretty evident from looking around here that these folk love a bit of SNP. In fact, pretty much the whole country's gone nationalist. 56 out of 59 seats went straight to the SNP, which might be a bit strange to some of you folk back there who thinks that Scotland might not be so nationalist due to the fact that they lost the referendum. But only very just. So, what's happened here? Well, Scotland clearly want change of some description, and that has been made very evident by the sweep of yellow.
It was probably the concern about immigration that provided the main impetus for UKIP's dramatic rise. Having won 3.8 million votes, there was a surge in support which showed the government they needed to rethink their policies on issues like the EU, as it was clear that the public opinion was different from how they thought. They were more in favour of UKIP, and this will lead to the EU referendum held in 2017, under the influence of UKIP.
The outcome certainly looked like a return to the traditional two-party politics in some respects. The share of the vote won by the Conservatives and Labour combined increased from 66.7% to 69%. Yet, was it really a return to two-party politics? The vote of UKIP rose a lot, and so did that of the SNP. Nationalism surged in Scotland, so the minor parties were getting more of a say, but yet, First Party Post still managed to secure a single-party government, returning, in fact, to its original point.
Thanks, Annie. One of the questions on everyone's mind today is, did UKIP fail? Despite much hype and talk about holding the balance of power, Farage and his party ultimately failed in their quest to win a handful of seats in the House of Commons. While Farage himself failed to win the Kent seat of Thanet South, finishing in second place with 32% of the vote, UKIP also failed to retain the Kent seat of Rochester and Stroud, which had won at by-election during the autumn of 2014. At the general election, Mark Reckless failed to win re-election after finishing second with just 30% of the vote. Only Douglas Carswell, the former Conservative MP from Clacton, managed to win his coastal seat in Essex with 44% of the vote.
Well, here I am with a newspaper excerpt from when the general election was in full rage. As you can see, what was predicted? A hung parliament, just like the 2010 general election. To do with the rise of minor parties, all the main tabloids and newspapers seemed to think that not one party would be able to retain power, but alas, they were wrong. The first part of the post system reigned. So, was that a non-event of the election? Well, certainly seems to think so. Look at this article, clearly laying out all the likelihoods of a hung parliament, but it didn't pull through. Some disappointment on minor parties' behalves. Back to you in the studio.
So here we are with Nick Clegg. So Nick, why do you think the Lib Dems did so badly in the general election?
Well, I think we paid the price for our coalition with the Conservatives, but I don't regret it at all.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Maybe it was to do with the promises that were broken by the Lib Dems. For example, raising tuition fees when they promised they would not, and holding the AV referendum, which failed.
I'm here with Ed Miliband. He's going to try and explain to us why he thinks his party did so badly in the general election in which they were possibly going to win. So Ed, why do you think that you did so badly?
Oh, my personality is funny by the people don't like it.
Yes, that is true. So, in other reasons, Labour suffered some controversial issues. For example, Ed Miliband here did an interview with Russell Brand, which was deemed quite unpopular with the Labour supporters. In other news, Labour, a lot of MPs where there was conflict within the party. Back to you in the studio.
Hi, I'm here with the newly announced Prime Minister and his lovely wife. So, Mr. Prime Minister, why do you think the Conservatives had so much success in the last election?
Well, I would have to say that it's because of my amazing personality. Definitely was much better than Ed Miliband's silly personality. Also, we have a long-term economic plan which the British public voted for because they know that I am the right man for the job. Also, I definitely think it was the politics of fear versus the politics of envy. And people know that envy is not as bad as fear. People were scared. People were scared of what was going to happen. with Labour and the SNP forming an alliance. And people, obviously, that would be awful.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. Wishing you a healthy stay.
Thank you. Bye.